Welcome back. Up right now is Fast Five. We have 5 topics in 5 minutes. And our first one is a new iPhone. May not let you work while you're driving.
Yeah, good luck with that one. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. People will figure out, this will not decrease the potential for auto accidents. This will increase the potential for auto accidents because those who are habitual text and drive people, or email and drive, or Skype and drive, or whatever and drive, are going to continue to do that. Newsflash, it doesn't matter what you do. The advertisement I saw said it'll make it simple for the passenger to do it, but difficult for the driver to do it. Well, guess what? The driver will figure out how to do it. If they're going to text and drive, they're going to text and drive.
And you know what I would say about that? The SMON is called a smartphone for a reason. And I will say there will be a way that they can stop it. There will be something with, my car will do things when I'm driving to wake me up. It says, if you think you're doing something, if they think you're nodding off, if they think you're not sitting there.
Do you commonly fall asleep in your car while you're driving?
No, it will make sure you don't.
I didn't know Model Ts could do that.
Yeah,
they do.
It's that vibration going down the cobblestone pathway.
Going down the cobblestone, especially in Annapolis. But no, I think a smartphone will figure it out. I think Apple will figure it out. That's why Apple's on the top of the chart. And they will figure out how you can do it.
I think that smart people invented smartphones, and by definition, we as humans are going to remain smarter than the smartphone.
Don't you think
my son actually has this OS on his phone. So when we got into his truck last week, he's driving it. It says, do not disturb. You know what he's doing? He's driving down the road, pulling up music to play through his Bluetooth over the car radio. I'm like, would you just focus on the road? So while he might not get a text message, they're going to find other things because it's a gadget. It's something that they're providing to them. So whether you're breaking through there so you can do your text messaging or you're pulling up music, there's going to be ways that they're going to find to get in there and leverage it.
The key to this is not finding a way to deprive the driver of doing whatever it is he or she wants to do. The key is to finding a safe way to have them do it, because those that are committed to doing it are going to find a way around it, in my opinion.
Jim, you close that off. Next up, we have Walmart. The opening's delayed to 2018. Ron?
Well, we don't know that for sure.
Possibly delayed to 2018.
You realize 2018 is not that far
well,
from
now. And the reality is, and that's a good point, Ron. I agree with you on that. And the reality is that it wasn't. The last I heard, it wasn't going to open until November anyway.
Yeah, so you're talking.
But they will lose the best sales season of the year.
But arguably, if you're going to go to Walmart, you're going to go to Walmart, one of the other Walmarts around anyway.
Yeah, maybe. Right now, it's in the water line coming up the Sharpsburg Pike, where they have to lower the water line to get drainage lines across the top of the water lines. And that's something that they've known about for a while, but everything has to happen in sync. The stormwater management pond, how stormwater is managed, how the coming up to Sharpsburg Pike's your main water line,
right,
how that's dealt with, and how they get the pipes over top of that to get into the stormwater management pond. It's all something that's been in the works, been planning. The county's dealing with it. I was going to say McDonald's was dealing with it, but McDonald's had to deal with that when they went in years ago. So now Walmart has it, and the state's on top of it, and I think they'll come out of this fine.
I think they will too.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Federal court. Okay, DC's concealed carry was just overturned by the federal courts. Are we headed to the Supreme Court? Jim?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe, yes, I think this will go to the Supreme Court ultimately.
Because there's contrasting opinions on concealed carry.
Oh, I understand that. I contrast my own sometimes. I'm a person that I believe in the Second Amendment, but I worry. Here's what I worry about. When we get angry, we sometimes do things that we regret later. And that could be exhibited in road rage, that could be exhibited in a number of manners. My point is, the more combatant type things you have at your disposal, the more potential I think you have to use them. And I think that it's great that we have the ability to bear arms in this country. I don't know that I think that everyone needs to be carrying one.
Would that say that because of the analysis that they did, 48,000 people could have carry permits in D.C.?
Well, they're speculating.
They're calculating. I think.
But they're also taking into the. When I said there's differences of opinions, I meant from the appellate court. One appellate court ruled in favor of concealed carry, and now the other question for us in Maryland, the D.C. law was modeled off the Maryland law.
Right.
So does that bring into question that the Maryland law is going to have a potential challenge and urge the Supreme Court to say, listen, this is what the law is going to be from now on? Because they've been reluctant to pick this up.
Well, I don't think our governor is going to challenge it.
Do you think the concealed, they should
Well, I doubt the Attorney General will at this risk.
Do you think it should happen? Should the concealed permit be authorized? Who's going to get the most of them? Whose lives are in more jeopardy in Washington, D.C.?
And, you know, it's funny, the dissenting opinion, her opposition to this was because of the political climate in D.C. is why she was not in favor of it. It wasn't because of what we had in other courts. It was, she just felt D.C. was not the market for this law to be in.
Should the people in the different communities that have a lot of the violence in communities, should they be armed?
Wouldn't that bring up a question of whether you're going to pull your gun or not, if you don't know if the other person's armed?
Across the country, that's a big debate. Everybody ought to be armed.
Yeah,
Here's a chance.
It's hard for me to say because I have never been trained in how to use a weapon, so it's hard for me to cast a judgment on this.
I don't. I would hope we would live in a country where we all don't have to be armed.
Well, I'm sorry, that might be a dream world at this point. Let's talk about our friends in North Korea. They claim that they have a ICBM that can reach anywhere in the U.S. Ron, what's your thoughts?
Barack Obama told President Trump first day in office, before he even went in office, that's going to be one of your biggest problems, going to be North Korea. So what are we going to do with North Korea? It's reared its head?
It's Trump's biggest problem because Obama did nothing about it.
But Obama's not president now. President Trump is.
But the point is, it's easier to pull the weed when it's this big than when it's this big.
When it's this big, it pulls
But it doesn't make any difference now. The weed is now this big and we have to deal with it. Okay, real quick, the last thought. Cedar Lawn residents and what's going on with the planned development.
So let me just say this: we had a nice interview with the folks that were the developers. I'm trying to get on folks from the Cedar Lawn community to see if we can give them equal time to express their concerns. And I think this is an issue that's not going to go away easily. I thought that. I don't think that there was a lot of pushback against Andy Serafini and some of the folks from the state that didn't show up.
Brett Wilson was.
But guess what? What are they going to do? I mean, I am sure, and I'm an Andy Serafini fan. Okay, I'll state that up front. And I know that if there's an issue that Andy can have an input on, and whether you like his input or not, he'll give it to you. He is not shy about telling you what he thinks, and I respect that. But I also understand that there's no way, I don't see anything that he can do to change this. It's zoned properly, it's privately owned land, it fits the city's hope to decentralize this population, it addresses an issue. I don't know what he can do about it. I think there's got to be middle ground here.
Ron, can you encapsulate your thoughts in 15 seconds?
Yeah, my thoughts
Take a minute if you want.
I really think the residents should work with everybody to ensure that how it's laid out and whatever safety nets there are, that they're instilled. To go out and absolutely be against it, walk out of meetings, walk out of rooms, and act the way some of them have acted so far, they're not going to get anything accomplished. But if they listen and they settle down and do the things that they can, Cedar Lawn residents can come out as a winner in this whole thing, because it's going in. But it can be controlled.
So the same issues that we were discussing about our federal government not being able to work alongside each other, we have the same issue in our local community right now.
Yes.
Potentially. Yeah. Okay. Up next, we have last call. Yes.